Was good. Yes, sir. Wool bag. Here we go with what? J-Rock. Let's talk about J-Rock fighting this week. We'll hold off on the battle of the hype jobs, okay? We'll hold off on the battle of the hype jobs for a couple minutes, man. Let me let some people come through here, man, and sit and see how I'm gonna see whether or not I'm gonna deep fry Black Fight Fan. I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, because it's such a lopsided argument that it's almost like taking candy from a baby. You know what I mean? A big ass baby. You know what I mean? A large baby. You know what I mean? It's so easy. It is so easy to bash Clarissa Shields' head up against the wall, metaphorically speaking, that it's almost unfair, and I almost don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Because here I was, what's good? Here I was, where he said, no, because I understand. Black Fight Fan TV has a friend. She came to his show. She texts him. He likes her. That's his friend. You know what I mean? So when you're dealing with your friend, all logic goes out the window. I got it. I have, like my son. I love my son. My son scored like 17. He scored like 16 points in about 12 minutes of play. So I want to say that because I love my son and he always answers my call and he would come on my show when I want him to come on my show, that he's better than Michael Jordan. That's how it works. See, if somebody's your friend, all logic flies out the window. So because Clarissa Shields is a nice person, it doesn't matter that she only has 9 fights and 10 fights and somebody else has 38 of them. It just doesn't matter because Clarissa Shields will answer my phone call and the other person will not. So hey, I completely understand the temptation to make arguments that literally make no sense to even myself. Even that make no sense even to myself. Because I know perfectly well that 23 unified fights is more than 10 total fights. Are you saying someone with 10 fights can't beat the focus ball? I am not talking about whether Clarissa Shields will beat Cecilia Brækhus or not. I never brought that shit up. You guys are trying this. You are trying to change the subject. You are trying what you call a deflection. And I'm not going to let you deflect. I never said that Clarissa Shields. Matter of fact, let me help you guys with your bullshit and I'll put it on you, Focus Ball, because you just tried that shit. Okay? Try that shit with a rookie. I said that she's not the greatest woman of all time. Okay? Now, I don't believe that Anthony Joshua is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Okay? I don't believe that he is. I don't believe that he's greater than Lennox Lewis. But if Lennox Lewis, would you put this quite stupid argument out? Well, we can find out who the best heavyweight is of all time, whether it's Anthony Joshua or Lennox Lewis. All they got to do is fight. No, I'm not lawyering you. I'm logicking you. It's logic. It's logic. You're trying to change the subject on me. You're trying to say, well, let them fight. So what? If Clarissa Shields lost, if Clarissa Shields knocked out Cecilia Brækhus, it does not erase 23 unified title defenses and 11 undisputed titles. It doesn't erase it any more than if Lennox Lewis got into the ring, or better yet, if Larry Holmes got into the ring with Anthony Joshua and lost. It wouldn't mean that Anthony Joshua was a greater fighter all time than Larry Holmes. It would just mean that Larry Holmes is no longer as great a fighter as he was. I'm talking about the accomplishments of their career. And every time you try that corny shit, changing the subject to whether they can win a fight, you're just lying and being dishonest. Focus ball, I'm going to put it on you, and I'll put it on anybody else. Do not change subjects with cutesy shit and then try to accuse me of being cute. I said that the woman cannot be the greatest fight. She cannot be the greatest woman of all time when she only has 10 fights. And you have somebody else that has 30, is undefeated under 36 fights, has 23 unified title defenses and 11 undisputed champion title fights. Does the record mean nothing? Does it mean nothing? Because you like her? Because you like her? It makes no sense. But don't change the subject on me, because I don't do that. I don't do ad hominem attacks. I'm not going to attack you and say, oh, you're pulling smoke and mirrors. You're being all full of smoke and mirrors. Everything that you say that makes sense is just smoke and mirrors because you're saying it. That's an ad hominem attack. That's attacking me. That's not attacking my argument. Just saying everything that I say is bullshit. I said I think she could beat her, but it's still an unnecessary, it's still a separate topic. It's still a separate topic. Who I said, yeah, I think she could beat her. But I also said, much love in that super chat. What I also said was, it doesn't matter. The outcome of the fight doesn't matter. Just like this, Leon Spinks or Larry Holmes beat Muhammad Ali. Does that mean Muhammad Ali is that Larry Holmes was a greater fighter than Muhammad Ali because a young fighter beat an old fighter? No, it does not. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all because one person has 25 title defenses. She's fought 36 fights. Clarissa Shields could lose before she got to 14. It's the same argument that AJ fans were making with Deontay Wilder. You're literally doing an AJ is greater than Deontay Wilder argument. The same argument. You're saying, or other people are saying, that Deontay Wilder, what they said was Deontay Wilder has 40 fights. What has he done in 40 fights? He has never unified. AJ in 16 fights. AJ fought more top 10 opponents. AJ unified three belts. AJ has done more in 23 fights or 22 fights than Deontay Wilder did in his whole career. That was the argument that those guys were making for a year and a half. And then what happens? Bop. Laid up against the ring, I quit. Now all of a sudden, the 23. No, black fight fan. No. You got to take the L, man. Hey, brother, I love you to death. You got to take the L. You got to take the L, man. You got to take that L. It's the same argument. You're saying that Clarissa Shields has done more in 9 fights than Cecilia Brækhus has done. That's the same argument, literally, that AJ did for Wilder. Dog, that L is firm. Dog, firm L. Not just a little bit of an L, a firm L. It structurally is wrong. You believe that Clarissa Shields is better than Cecilia Brækhus, but there are no objective facts for that to be the case. She's got 10 fights. She has 10 fights. No, my L is this, yeah, L, whatever. That's an L because there's no way. So what if they fight? Larry Holmes could fight. Larry Holmes can still fight Deontay Wilder. Lennox Lewis can fight Deontay Wilder. Vladimir Klitschko can fight Deontay Wilder. The total sum of your career is all time. She is comparing herself to people that are no longer fighting. When you're saying you're the greatest of all time, you're not talking about a match, a fight happening today. You're talking about what you have done in your career versus what everybody else in the history of women's boxing has done in their career. That's what greatest of all time. All time means before today. She's comparing herself to Laila Ali. She's comparing herself. Dude, you're trying something that's just not working, man. You're not working. You're trying to change the subject, and it's not going to change. Okay? I'm being very, very clear about what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is this. Claressa Shields has not accomplished what Cecilia Brækhus has had, what Cecilia Brækhus has in a boxing ring. Today. Because guess what? They haven't fought yet. They have not even fought yet. So when we're talking about today, we're talking about what she's accomplished today. What you're doing is talking about what she might accomplish later. Oh, if they fight, she might beat her later. She would beat her later. She could beat her later, but they've not fought. What is today? Today is January 17th, and it is 11:42 Central Standard Time. As of right now, neither one of them have fought. So if you have to decide who is the greatest of all time, you have to go on what has happened during time. You cannot look at what has happened, what might happen in the future. That is outside the scope of the conversation. So when you look at what Cecilia Brækhus has done to this day, and would you look at what she has done to this day, there's no comparison between the two. There's literally no comparison. But then you guys and multiple people want to change the subject and say, oh, I think she beat her in a fight. That's not the topic. She's calling herself the greatest woman of all time. If she said she was the greatest fighter today, fighting today, if she said she was the greatest fighter actively fighting right now, we could have the discussion. We could say, okay, well, who's the best fighter today? She could be, but that's not what you're arguing. You're not making an argument about whether or not she's the best fighter today. I'm talking about, and the only issue I had was whether or not she was the greatest fighter of all time. And that's just a ridiculous argument to say she is. It's as ridiculous as Lomachenko being the greatest fighter of all time. Man, I'm right here, Trill. Black Fight Fan, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying because I'm saying it. I said what my point is. And my point, I don't care who's better. I'm not even going to go there because you're trying to deflect. You're trying to move the conversation away from my point. Greatest woman of all time. The greatest woman of all time. How can you determine who the greatest woman of all time is? I'm not asking whether she's pound for pound number one, Nino Brown. You guys are not going to get me moving off to different stuff. I'm not even going to talk about that. No, I'm not. I'm staying focused, man. I am dead focused. GWOAT means greatest woman of all time. That's what the conversation is. That's the only issue that I have is whether or not she is the greatest woman. I'm not even going to answer that question, Nino Brown, because it's an attempt to get me to talk about something else. No. But much love in the super chat. I'm not going to ask who's better. I don't care who's better. You're not getting me to move and say something so you can take an argument somewhere else. I'm not going for it. I don't do rookie shit. I don't do rookie shit. Okay? No rookie shit here. My point is this. Claressa Shields has not done enough to be considered the greatest woman of all time. Period. No, yeah, because you're not moving me. Claressa Shields has not done enough to be considered the greatest woman of all time. She's got 9 fights. She's got 10 fights. She has a great career going on. She might be the greatest female Olympian of all time. Hey, who else has 2 Olympic gold medals? But who's the greatest female pro of all time? Come on, man. Her record doesn't look anything like Cecilia Brækhus's, man. It looks nothing like it. It's not even close. Fanon, it may not be today, but maybe tomorrow, but I'll get my answer from you. Oh, okay, here. I'll give you here. Does Brækhus's overall career accomplishments make her number 1 pound for pound? Number 1 pound for pound should be dictated or dedicated on how you fighting today. So, and it should be considered, this is how I consider it. The 4 areas of boxing that you judge scoring criteria, your scoring criteria for boxing: defense, effective aggressiveness, clean, effective punching, and ring generalship. I think Cecilia Brækhus is excellent in all of those areas. I think Claressa Shields is excellent in all of those areas except for maybe defense. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I don't think career accomplishments in and of itself make you pound for pound number 1. Because if that was the case, then Manny Pacquiao would probably be number 1 pound for pound. And I don't believe that's the case. I also don't believe Canelo Alvarez is number 1 pound for pound because of career accomplishments. But I do want to, again, because y'all ain't getting me on this rookie stuff. No rookie stuff over here, okay? I am sticking with the issue at hand, okay? And the issue is whether or not Claressa Shields is the greatest woman of all time. That's the issue. I know you guys don't like to follow those, but there's an issue. Then there's a rule. How do you determine who is the greatest woman of all time? I would argue that the rule is that it is what you have accomplished as a boxer in your professional career. So if a woman is to be if Claressa Shields is the greatest one of all time, if that's the issue, I'm not doing smoke and mirrors. I'm doing a straight up and down analysis of an issue. And the way you do that is you name the issue. And it usually starts with the word whether, because that's a question. Whether or not Claressa Shields is the greatest woman of all time. That's the question. Okay? Now, the rule is that the greatest woman of all time is what? Determined by their accomplishments in the ring. What they've done as a boxer. What they've done. Notice the rule does not include what they might do, what they could do down the road, but what they've actually done. Okay? So if Claressa Shields is the greatest woman of all time, and the rule is that she should have accomplished more than any woman in the history of boxing, then you have to now apply the facts to the rule. And then see how it answers the issue. So let's apply the facts to the rule. Has Claressa Shields accomplished more than any woman has ever done in the history of women's boxing? I point to Cecilia Brækhus and say the answer to that is unequivocally no. Because Cecilia Brækhus has 23 unified championship wins. She has 11 undisputed championship wins. And Claressa Shields has 1 undisputed championship win. And she has maybe 6 championship fights. Just say all. Give her credit for all. And say they were all championship fights. Then she has 10 championship fights. So 10 championship wins against 23 championship wins. 11 undisputed wins against 1 undisputed win. I would argue that 23 is more than 10 and 11 is more than 1. Therefore, if you apply the rule to the issue, you will see that it does not apply, that is not the case. So the answer to the issue, which is whether or not Cecilia Brækhus has accomplished more than any other woman in boxing, the answer is no. Note that nowhere in the rule that I laid out was what would happen if she fought Cecilia Brækhus, because that would be a different issue. I know people think that's mumbo jumbo, but I promise you it's not mumbo jumbo. It is literally asking a question. Will Cecilia Brækhus beat Claressa Shields? I do not know. You actually have to have the fight to see. But even if she beat her, notice that would not change the outcome of the question that I addressed originally, which was whether or not Claressa Shields has accomplished more than any other female fighter has, and nobody has answered that question or argued with me about it, which tells me that you're just changing the question and you're not dealing with the actual issue. Because I asked you, has Claressa Shields accomplished more in her career than Cecilia Brækhus has? And your answer should be no, because she is not even close. And that is how you address the issue. I don't say you're you're talking mumbo jumbo, because that's not mumbo jumbo. That is as straight to the point as you can possibly get. It's as straight to the point as you can possibly get. You ask a question. What is the issue? Then you say, well, what is the rule that we're going to apply to settle the question? Then you look at the facts and you apply the facts to the rule. And then you make a conclusion. And the conclusion answers the question. That is how you think. That is how you think about any question. That's not mumbo jumbo. And you know what you don't do? You don't start asking facts that do not address the question, that do not applicable to the rule. Whether or not Cecilia Brækhus could beat Shields in a fact, number one, has nothing to do with who's the greatest of all time, because time is something that has occurred already. You're asking me whether or not she's the greatest of all time because it's something you think may happen in the future. That is a logical fallacy. It's a logical fallacy. Just like personally attacking me and saying I'm biased. So what if I'm biased? I can be as biased as I want. I could totally dislike Claressa Shields and completely love Cecilia Brækhus, but it still would not affect the answer to the question and whether or not the facts apply to the rule and draw you to a conclusion that answers the question. It wouldn't have anything to do with it. Fanon, you're right, but doesn't that make Floyd the greatest of all time? I don't know what that means. I would say, see, there's some subjectivity to it. If I spoke to, and this is how you would have the discussion, say I believed. Hey, shout out to Big Dog Willie. Salute to the Don in the chat. Fuck Dillian White. Red Yellow Man says, salute Fanon and the Bomb Squad for life. Yes, sir. B&B Boxers, Clarissa will smash Laila. Cecilia Brækhus is scared. I don't know. But let me tell you, I got a video coming out about Laila Ali. And see, I left that shit alone. Okay? Notice everything that I said. I didn't say anything about Laila Ali. Can anybody here tell me if I've told you what I think about Laila Ali and Claressa Shields? And I'll take just a yes if I've told you, right? Or no if I've not mentioned it. Because I'm trying to be very clear. What's going on, Renee Boxing? I've not said anything about Claressa Shields vis-a-vis Laila Ali. I haven't said a word about it. Now I got a video coming up about it, but let me tell you, y'all mischaracterized what I was going to say. And I was unfairly attacked for an opinion that I don't even hold. Because somebody asked me the question, what do I think about Laila Ali and Clarissa Shields? Can somebody ask me that question? See, because I was called a bunch of names about a presumption about what my opinion was about Laila Ali and Clarissa Shields. But I don't recall ever giving my opinion about it. Well, actually, I did it. I did give my opinion on OG Boxing Talk. I'm biased against vanilla ice cream. I love vanilla ice cream. It just makes me fat. But let me get to what do I think? Thank you. Garcia, thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I so much appreciate you asking me what I think and not attacking me for something that I don't even think. I don't think there's any comparison between Clarissa Shields and Laila Ali. Laila Ali is a hype job. Clarissa Shields is not a hype job. That's what I think. I don't think it's fair to compare Laila Ali to Clarissa Shields at all, because Laila Ali fought around 3 fighters that all fought because their daddies were boxers. Laila Ali was a hype job. That's what Laila Ali was. Laila Ali came into boxing very late in life, and she got famous because she was pretty and because her daddy is Muhammad Ali. And I think she ducked the real fighter that would have beat the brakes off of her in Wolf. I think she was okay. She was a good athlete that didn't fight anybody. But she's not an Olympic. She's not a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. She's not a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. I don't think in her prime she could beat Clarissa Shields. I think Clarissa Shields is just flat out better than Laila Ali. I think for real, if they were fighting at the same time, I don't even think Laila Ali would fight her. Laila Ali beat up on Christy Martin. Christy Martin was much smaller than her, and she spent the early part of her career fighting people in the middle of parks. And so I don't even get it. I don't even think that there's a comparison between Clarissa Shields and and Laila Ali. Clarissa Shields is a real fighter. She's a real boxer. She's a true to the game fighter. That's what I believe. So the whole conversation started from what I heard about something I didn't even believe. If somebody would have asked me, I would have said, yeah, Laila Ali's tripping. Laila Ali ain't coming out of retirement to fight Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields will beat her up. And Clarissa Shields would have beat her up in the prime. But Laila Ali is not Cecilia Brækhus. Laila Ali is not Cecilia Brækhus. What do I think against Shields versus Wolf? I think it'd be a really good fight. I think Clarissa Shields will get knocked out if she hits. And I think she could win the fight if she tried to box and was able to stay away. But I think that it would be a good fight. But if she gets clipped, she can go to sleep. I don't know who would win between Clarissa Shields and Ann Wolf, because Clarissa Shields is a great fighter. Very, very good fighter. See, all it would take is just to ask me. Did I say something that was disrespectful of Clarissa Shields in that analysis? No, I haven't seen the interview yet. I just heard the stuff around it, but I don't have to hear the interview. I don't even have to hear it because I know who Laila Ali is. And I know Laila Ali don't want no parts of Clarissa Shields. And I also know that Laila Ali says a lot of shit. But I am just wondering, was all of that attack on me because of something that Laila Ali said justified based on my opinion? Was it justified at all? Because I think Cecilia Brækhus would beat her. I mean, I think she would beat Laila Ali. And I don't believe Laila Ali, when you have conversations about who the best women fighters are, I don't think she belongs in the conversation, because my personal belief is she was a hype job. Just like Jackie, just like Joe Lewis's daughter, and just like rest in peace, Frida Foreman. But Ann Wolf, she deserves to be in the conversation with Ann Wolf. She deserves to be in the conversation with skills, as far as her skill level and what she could achieve with Cecilia Brækhus. But you can't tell me that nine fights, she's the greatest woman of all time. That is a massive overstatement. It's a massive, massive overstatement. And I'm not chewing on anybody in particular, but I don't understand why I was attacked. I don't understand why my logic got to be trashed when I didn't even say anything. After I got done with a video praising Cecilia Brækhus. I just made the video. Big Dog Willie said, Fanon, you are a horrible person because your opinion doesn't agree with the masses. That was just completely off, because I don't think Cecilia Brækhus, because I said that she's not the greatest woman of all time. And I still don't believe she's done enough to be considered the greatest woman of all time, the greatest woman fighter of all time. I love Deontay Wilder to death. I do not believe that he has done enough to be considered the greatest fighter of all time. I love Errol Spence Jr. to death as a fighter. I do not believe that he has done enough to be considered the greatest fighter of all time. I don't believe that. And I've been called a Deontay Wilder fanboy. I've been called an Errol Spence Jr. fanboy. I can't even say convincingly, and nor have I ever said that I believe that Cecilia Brækhus is the greatest woman of all time. I never even said that. See, I'm very specific about the things that I say. So who is the GOAT, the greatest of all time? I can't tell you. I'll go with this. I'll go with what Blood Boxing said. I'm not truly qualified to tell you that, because I'm not as well versed in the career of Sam Langford as somebody like Scrap House Boxing is. I am not educated to the point on the careers of fighters like Sam Langford and Harry Wells and Harry Greb and even Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm not well enough educated on the situation. I'm not well enough educated on the situation to tell you that. And hey, what's going on? Retro Boxing Documentaries in here. So when I hear something when Blood said that, I knew I had to admit to myself, I would say that Muhammad Ali is the greatest fighter of all time, but I really don't know that, because I have to study who is your opinion is the GOAT. I couldn't honestly, dude, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you, because I would have to go back and look at all the female fighters. But I can tell you who's not. I can easily tell you who's not, because I can find an example of somebody that's greater than them. See, dude, this is not easy money over here. That's why I don't like to do this. It's not easy money over here. Okay? I'm not going to tell you that I know. First of all, I'm not going to fall for sucker moves. Okay? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to answer. There's an issue. I am going to state the issue, and I'm going to state what I believe my conclusion is. I'm going to base it on the facts and applying the facts to the rule. And I am not going to have sidebar conversations about things that are not related to the rule. That's why I'm telling you, I'm not easy money. This is not an act. I'm not easy money. You're going to have to give me a rule. If you want to say what the rule is, and then we can argue about what the rule is, we can argue about what the rule is. But I said, I don't know enough. 78 said, my wife is the GOAT, trying to get laid tonight. Yeah, but it's just not easy money over here, man. I'm not going to tell you that I know who the greatest woman of all time is because I don't know. But I can tell you who's not. Okay, has a band, the chick that Cecilia Brækhus beat and Clarissa Shield beat. She's not. I can tell you who is not the greatest. Amir Khan is not the greatest fighter of all time. Okay, and you will be really hard pressed to come up with a rule that you can apply facts to and draw a conclusion from that is going to support that Amir Khan is the greatest fighter of all time. Okay? I don't have to know who the richest man in the world is to tell you that it ain't you. Okay? Who's the greatest woman? Who's the richest man in history? Not you. Not me. Okay? If I told you I was the richest man in the world, is there some way I can make an argument that could convince you of that? No. Who beat Hazaban worse? I have no clue. Who beat her worse? They both beat her effectively in a unanimous decision. I couldn't tell you, but hey, let's go look. You want to go look at the scorecards or something? I know who beat her first. Ooh, what happened? Ooh, my thing just went crazy. Mansa Musa. Nah, Mansa Musa is not the richest person of all time. No, he's not. Nope. He is not. That is the richest person in recorded history, according to Europeans. That is not true. The richest person of all time would more than likely be one of those pharaohs, like Ramses. More because at a certain point, when you own everything, the wealth does not matter. Mansa Musa is somebody that they put a dollar total on. There's no reason to believe that Ramses of the biblical Ramses had any less wealth. Okay, he's not the richest person of all time. We don't know who is, because a king owns everything. They own everything. But I digress. I just want to say I love Trill Boxing Talk and Black Fight Fan TV. I love his work. I love everything that he does. I did not say anything about Cecilia Brækhus and Clarissa Shields. So it was just a little premature to start arguing with me about something that I never expressed my opinion on. And I think that was slightly unfair. It's hard to arm wrestle with the guy. Dude, it's hard, dog. It's hard, dog. I try to tell y'all. I tell BFTB that too. Love you, BFTB, but you know this is no easy money. I tell people it's not easy money because it's not easy money. I'm not playing mystical games, okay? For now, the richest man would have been Nimrod, aka Saturn. He founded Babylon and the first world empire. Could be. I'm rich as long as I have my wife trying to get laid. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I don't know. I don't know. What's going on? What's going on, Avery? The richest man of all man was an Aztec king. I couldn't tell you. All I can tell you is be honest. I don't know. They all got more money than me. Okay, all got more money than me. But I'm happy, man. I'm good. I'll tell you that, man. I feel good. All right, I feel real good. He said, "Focus ball. Nimrod is a fictional character." CRB said people don't realize the money made outside. Oh yeah, now she made a lot of money. But dude, she's a hype job, dog. I mean, she's pretty much a media creation. She took advantage of the name. That's the biggest woman in men. But as far as I've seen excitement around boxing, that's the biggest I've seen is what was around Laila Ali. Do you feel James? I feel good. I do. Because I love to display that this is not easy money. And I don't know why people pick on me. I have no idea. I have no idea why people pick on me. It's not easy. Too many history. Yeah, it's too much history to know. Much love to you, my brother. Keep doing what you do. Thank you, Howard Ellis. I appreciate that, man. And I would like to invite you guys all to watch the video that I made about Clarissa Shields that will be up later. Now, I promise you, I already made the video. I've already recorded it. Okay. So to prove that Black Fight Fan unjustly attacked me on his show about a point of view that I did not have, with a video that I made before Trill aired, should settle the question of the mistreatment of Fanon. The mistreatment of Fanon. Why? Forgive them, Lord, for they know what not they do. Yeah, you know I'm gonna watch it. Watch it. It's there. I've already, dude. I should. Oh, what? Should he do it? Should I do it? I should do it. I should do it. I think I can do this. I can. Hold on. I think I might have the audio here.
So that J-Rock is fighting, but
nope, that's not one. It's this one.
Hi, welcome back to the channel, subscribers.
Can you hear this?
Talk about the daughter of the GOAT versus the self-proclaimed GOAT.
Can y'all hear this?
The Shields. Laila says, "Put the money on the table, man, and I'll fight." I find it hilarious, man, and this is a perfect opportunity for me to talk about how good I think Clarissa Shields is, and how Laila Ali probably don't want no parts of that, and probably never would have wanted any parts of that. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, special thank you to everybody that supports on the Patreon, everybody that joins, all the LDBC members that have joined the channel. Thank you guys so much for that support.
Crow.
So definitely be here Monday.
Oops.
For the live streams, and Sunday 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for OG Boxing Talk, the centerpiece of this channel.
Oops.
Chop Up Boxing with my co-host and my partner, Blood Boxing, and the rest of the panel, KQKC, Trap House Boxing, and Curtis Anderson, where we wrap up the weekend boxing. I think you'll really enjoy that show, so make sure you're there. And if you're a Patreon man, go check out those last 2 Patreon uploads we did.
It is a shameless plug, but
we talk about.
Let's go
there and check that out. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Here you go. Come on.
Enjoy it. Now, Clarissa Shields, T-Rex, the greatest woman of all time, according to Clarissa Shields and Clarissa Shields fans. And so Clarissa Shields, I do believe, was on the Breakfast Club. I didn't hear the interview, but I did hear the responses from several people that said Laila Ali would be willing to fight Clarissa Shields if the money was right, put the money on the table. Now, here's my thing, man. I am so happy. Able to say this, okay? Because I swear I have taken, there's a couple topics on this channel that I take heat from my subscribers and supporters, okay? Subscribers and supporters. Just so you guys think that every time you disagree, he'll block you. Every time if you have a different opinion, he doesn't want you around. No, I just don't want you around if you're a jerk. Okay, if you're a jerk and you're rude to me, I want you gone. It's not fun for me to talk to people who behave like jerks. It's just
very hard for me to talk to people who behave like jerks.
I'm sorry. Okay, I like supporters and people that are, that we can disagree and go back and forth and crack jokes on one another. But at the same time, there's that clear feeling that we respect one another. And if you ain't that, you gotta go. So, but there are many people on the channel that fit into that category when it comes to a couple things. Terrence Crawford's necessity to fight, the necessity of Terrence Crawford to fight somebody at 147 pounds, and whether or not Clarissa Shields is the greatest woman of all time. Okay, I get a lot of slack because I'm like, you have lost your mind if you think that's the case. Okay, or you just never heard of Cecilia Brækhus or really just walked down and actually watched her fight and looked at the number of wins she has as an undisputed champion and as a unified champion. Her record is just ridiculous. Okay, and she's an excellent fighter. Technically, she's an excellent fighter. So anyway, I get into people with that on Clarissa Shields after every Clarissa Shields fight. So I find it so refreshing to be able to agree with some people with this Laila Ali stuff, because Laila Ali is not Cecilia Brækhus. Okay, Cecilia Brækhus, I believe, has a better resume and has a better, and I think she's a better fighter than Clarissa Shields. But hey, man, you know, that can be proven. That's just a matter of opinion. But the resume thing and who's done the most and accomplished most, it's just such a wash for Clarissa, for Cecilia Brækhus, that I just don't want to have a conversation. But
here's the point.
Ali, nah, I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying that Laila Ali is Clarissa Shields. I think Clarissa Shields is a better fighter than Laila Ali was. And I believe that she's accomplished more than Laila Ali did. And I think that Clarissa Shields is a real fighter. See, the thing with Cecilia Brækhus and Clarissa Shields is they are real fighters. They are true to the game boxers. Laila Ali, I believe, floated on her daddy's name by and large. And a lot of the interest in her, a lot of the accolades that she got were directly related to the fact that she is the daughter of Muhammad Ali. And she's a very pretty lady, without a doubt. So the combination of the two, you know, and the name Ali got her a lot of attention. As a fighter, I thought she's a better fighter than I thought she would be. She was a good fighter. You know, she had decent hand speed. She had decent power. She obviously worked very hard. She's not lacking in confidence or courage at all. Okay, so she was a tough one. She's pretty, she's tough, and she had a very big name. But she's not the pedigreed fighter that Clarissa Shields is. She did not go through, you know, the amateur ranks like Clarissa Shields did, and she's from the United States, just like Clarissa Shields is from the United States. Okay, that Cecilia Brækhus stuff, because I know it's coming in the comment section.
Now, do you think I'm going to get an apology? Do you think I'm going to get an apology? Because when you can win a debate before the motherfucker starts, you should get an apology. I think Cecilia, and I said, did you hear that? Was my mouth moving? Have I ever claimed to be a ventriloquist? Have I ever trained to be a ventriloquist? And that was me on tape that you heard saying that I think that Clarissa Shields is better than Laila Ali. So why exactly was I attacked for that? Why was I attacked for that? Any reason? Does anybody think that I deserve that? Did you guys hear that? Has anybody ever known me to be a ventriloquist or a time traveler? Oh, Ron Finkler said, just misinterpreted. My apologies. Thank you for the apologies, Ron Finkler. But let me tell you what people did. Let me tell you what happened here. I said one thing, which was I don't believe that that Clarissa Shields is the greatest woman of all time. And because there isn't anybody that can put a reasonable argument for why she is the greatest woman of all time, because there's no solid evidence or argument to be made in support of that, people start arguing about a lot of different things that I didn't say. So, you know what that's called? That's called a straw man argument. It is when you try to change the subject, present arguments that somebody didn't actually make, or exaggerate arguments that they did make for the sake of disqualifying or discrediting something that they never thought to begin with. That is a logical fallacy called a straw man. And that, my friend, is what happened to me this morning, along with an ad hominem attack mixed with a little bit of begging the question. Now, let me explain what begging the question is. When you start with the conclusion that has not been proven, and then you prove it with your own unproven assertion. Fanon, you got attacked. That's every day, bro. Yo, no, but this time was Black Fight Fan TV on Trill Boxing Talk. So we had to be, only because I have to rebuild my only have to keep track of my reputation. Would I even have mentioned it? Because Black Fight Fan TV is a great dude. Love Trill Boxing Talk. It's all in the LDBC, but I want it to be known that I did not attack Black Fight Fan TV. Did I? Can anybody out here tell me if I've attacked? Did I ever attack Black Fight Fan personally? I would like a yes or no. Yes or no? Did I attack Black Fight Fan? Did I attack him personally? Fanon, that's Patreon via the different types of arguments and examples of how it's done. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I can do that for you. So Ivan Garcia says no. CJ says no. I never did. All I did is clarify what Ron Pickett said maybe, but no. And that list is going to continue to say no. Because I never did. No ad hominem. I never made an argument that he didn't make. I didn't exaggerate an argument that he did make. I just pointed out the fact, what I said, and what I did not say. And let me be very clear about what I did not say. I did not say that Laila Ali was a better fighter than Clarissa Shields. I never said it. In fact, I said the exact opposite. I said that Clarissa Shields is a better fighter than Laila Ali, and that it's unfair to Clarissa Shields for anybody to compare Laila Ali to her, because Clarissa Shields is a real fighter. You said she wasn't. I said she wasn't what? Yeah, I said that she wasn't as good. I said that Clarissa Shields, that Laila Ali is not as good as Clarissa Shields. But if you listen to Trill Boxing Talk towards the end, you will hear a claim that I did say that. But I never did. Which is what? A straw man. Exactly. I said Shields was better. You and Black Fight Fan attack claiming me I love Bud. Lies. Yes, I did. Now, see, I like that. 78 is correct. I did attack Black 78 and tell people that he was a closet Bud fan. And although I do believe that deep down in my heart, I have to admit that there is no actual evidence to support my claim. So I will walk back off of that. Okay? See how that works? I did because I suspected. It's like Steve Kim and racism. I can't prove it, but I just suspect it. He said, that's the den for your ass. You know how it goes, but look, let me tell you something. That's why I joined the Lions Den, dog. This right here is not easy money. It's not easy money. It's not. Because guess what? I have a platform where you can't talk over me, and I get to dictate what I say, how I say it, how long I take to explain it, and you don't get to cut me off. You don't get to stop me right there. None of that works. This is why I say I just don't understand. I don't understand why people pick on me. I just don't get it. Because it's tough. It's tough. It's tough when somebody has the fallacies memorized. Because when you have the major fallacies memorized, you're gonna walk into it because you're gonna try one. It's so tempting. He said, walk it out, Fanon. It's so tempting to try them. It's so tempting. It's so tempting. So, and sometimes you can get away with it on people. But if people know it, you can't get away with it. It's kind of like, fighting with your hands down. You know what I mean? When you're fighting somebody that ain't got any speed, you're not going to get hit on the chin. But when you're fighting somebody that is fast and experienced, hold the phone. Hold the phone. See, with me, you got to hold the phone. You got to hold the phone. Because the gaps, I see the gaps. I see the gaps. It's just how it works. And let me explain to you again, because it is on. I could do it on Patreon, but I don't know how many people are truly interested in that. But when people talk, make sure you realize this though. When you go out, if there's ones you gotta know these. You gotta know begging the question. You gotta know straw man. You gotta know ad hominem, and you have to understand people that try to associate correlation with causation. See, those four right there will knock out 95% of the arguments that people make with you. You will see right through them. You can refocus the argument, and they will have and then as soon as people recognize what you're doing, if you explain it clearly enough to other people and they recognize what the other person is doing, then that other person's in a lot of trouble because they can't do that anymore. Another said, "Hey, Fanon, a lot of mo. I got a lot of mo. I got a lot of mo. There's a lot of mo. There's a lot of mo. A lot of mo. Black 5 hey, BFTB. Hey, I got a lot of mo. I got a lot of mo. There's a lot of mo. There's a lot of mo. That's why I tell y'all, man, I don't try to debate. I educate. I don't debate, I educate. Okay? I do not debate. I only debate. I'll leave that alone, dog, because y'all my equals. Y'all my equals. But for real, not the easy stuff. Don't do the easy stuff, okay? Don't do the easy stuff. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Add in the no true Scotsman fallacy for YouTube arguments. The no true Scotsman. What's the no true Scotsman? I got to look that up. I can't recall what it is. I've heard it, but I can't recall exactly what it is. So sometimes other ones are named different things. Yeah, much love for BFTB, man. BFTB is the shit. So is Black Fight Fan TV, but he just strawmanned me. And that's not fair because I never said that. I never made the argument. For all of you troll hating muzz listening that think was LBC peeps all share the same brain, remember this video. Oh yeah, it's hard for them. They don't get that. But see, they don't matter. They don't matter. That's why I won't even talk to them. I would never. That's why, I will troll the trolls. No Scotsman or appeal to purity is an informal fallacy in which one attempts to protect the universal generalization by counterexamples by changing the definition in an ad hoc fashion. Let me read that again. Yeah, okay, I have to look more into that. That's a good one. That reminds me of that does remind me of the other one, like an appeal to ignorance. Another one is a good one that people try is appeal to ignorance, right? An appeal to ignorance, which is, I think it's appeal to ignorance, like this one. When somebody says nobody can prove there's a God, so God doesn't exist, right? Just because you can't prove that something is true doesn't mean it's false. Right? So, hey, you tell me when that has ever happened before. Just because I told you it's never happened before doesn't mean that it has never happened. It just means that we don't know that it's happened. But just because nobody can prove that there's a God doesn't mean God doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Which is pretty much the essence of the fallacy of science, which is saying that nothing is true unless it can be observed. But there could be things that have never been observed. Or things that cannot be observed. And just because something cannot be observed doesn't mean that it is not true. You know what I mean? Irrational appeal to emotion. Yeah, that's the ad hominem. See, the attack against the person is the one that is most common. Where somebody says, Fanon is just using a bunch of tricky mumbo jumbo and therefore don't believe anything that he says. That's an ad hominem attack. That's not saying this, that's asking you specifically to avoid listening to what I have to say and discount it because I'm saying it. That's ad hominem. And that is the most common one that you'll see. And the easiest one to spot. Whenever someone says, do not listen to black fight, do not listen to, I'll keep black that out of it. Do not listen to blood boxing because blood boxing is biased against Muhammad Ali. He is biased against Gervonta Davis. Or who does blood boxing hate? Who does blood boxing not like? Blood boxing don't, but blood boxing don't like a lot of cats. So say blood boxing doesn't like Anthony Joshua. Don't listen to blood boxing saying that Anthony Joshua, something about Anthony Joshua because he just hates Anthony Joshua. So it does, but it doesn't even matter. Blood boxing could say something that is completely true about Anthony Joshua, and whether or not he likes him or not has nothing to do with it. You see that all the time in YouTube things. It's like, oh, you just hate him because you're just a racist. You're just biased. Well, okay, well, maybe I'm a racist, maybe I'm biased, but what does that have to do? Yeah, blood does hate Floyd, but what does that have to do with whether or not what I'm saying is true or not? Okay, I could absolutely positively hate frogs, right? But shit, if the frog took a shit on a car, the frog, it's just, did the frog take a shit on the car? I could hate the frog, but it's a yes or no. Did he take a shit on the car or not? My hatred of the frog has nothing to do with it. You can absolutely positively hate somebody, but still tell the truth about him. You know what I mean? So that's the one that was the one this morning that I thought needed to be pointed out most specifically. I could absolutely hate Cecilia Breakers, absolutely hate Clarissa Shields and want nothing but misery for her in her life. But that does not change the fact that she has 10 fights. And Clarissa and Cecilia Breakers has more undisputed championship title defenses than she has total fights. And she has twice as many unified championship wins, championship title defenses as Clarissa Shields has fights. My hate for Clarissa Shields has nothing to do with whether or not that's true. Also, similar to the Jimenez being a dude thing, you also see that, and much love to everybody in the super chat that supported today. But I got to make sure people understand this. Look, man, when that lady said the WBC pulled an ad hominem attack on the lady that accused Jimenez of being a man, the WBC did it. When the WBC said this is a homophobic attack on Jimenez by somebody and we're not going to stand for it, that's an ad hominem attack. Because they very well could be homophobic. They could, but whether the question of whether or not Jimenez was born a man or not is a matter of fact. Either she is or she is not. Either she was or she was not. Whether or not somebody doesn't like the fact that she did that is irrelevant. The only proper way to reply to that accusation is to respond with whether or not she is actually a man or not. Here is her birth certificate. Her birth certificate says Alejandra Jimenez, female, born September 1st, 1992. See, it's right there. And there's a picture, and here's her baby picture with her mother, right? And they're changing her. And as you see, as they're changing her, there's nothing there. So this is her birth certificate. So she was not born a man. That's the only acceptable response from the WBC. Not to attack the person that said that they believe that's the case. You see what I'm saying? And so you always look at that always look at that out of the corner of your eye when people do that. Always. But it's a very effective technique for rookies. It is very, very useful when you argue with rookies, because rookies just might, no, it doesn't matter. If you're talking about it matters whether or not the person's homophobic or not, no, it doesn't, because she could be not homophobic. If Alejandra Jimenez was born a woman, it wouldn't matter whether or not somebody was homophobic or not. It would not change that fact. If you're homophobic, she was born a woman. If you're not homophobic, she was still born a woman. Whether or not she looks like a man is irrelevant or not. The question is whether or not she was born a man. Did she at any point in time in her life have male reproductive organs? That's the only thing that matters. Okay? That's why just all that smoke and stuff, you just move all that smoke out the way. Just grab a fan, push all that smoke out your way, and answer the question. Why is Clarissa Shields the greatest woman of all time? Damn, you filed for that, Junior the Truth. Why is she? I will tell you why I don't think she is. She's not accomplished as much as other fighters that I've seen. She's not accomplished as much. She's only had 10 fights. And according to her, she's been the greatest woman of all time since she had 7 fights. She was the greatest woman of all time before she won it in a 3rd division. Okay? According to people that support that, she's been the greatest woman of all time since she had 7 fights. And I was saying it then. It's just what it is. And it's an impossible argument to defend. And as a result of not being able to defend that argument, but yet still make it, you change the subject through the use of various logical fallacies designed to distract, discredit. That's an L. That's an L. That's an L. Which is the L go? Which way the L go? Which way the L go? Which way the L go? can't A. And there ain't no way you can talk out of that. Just to let you know. I tell people, just like I tell y'all, like I tell other people, there ain't no way out of that. Okay, there ain't no way out of that bear trap. You keep moving, your leg's gonna get ripped. Just sit down in that bear trap, wait for somebody to unscrew it. But the more you fight it, the closer you come to that artery. Okay, the closer you get to that artery. Okay, don't move. Just stay right there. That bear trap is there. Okay, I've now pointed out at least 5 fallacies. And if you use them again, anybody and everybody will know you're using them. And when they recognize that you're using them, they will then say, Fanon didn't say that though. But even if Fanon is a hater, what does that have to do with the fact? That's the fallacy. Let me go look up and see if I can learn some more fallacy. See, that's what I'm saying. The bear trap is there. It's just there. It's just around your leg. Just ow. I'm not big on Shields, but I don't want her fighting. Yeah, dog. I mean, look, man, the thing is that is something that needs to be responded to. Now, as far as that goes, if somebody believes that, they need to come up with the proof, period. If you're saying that she was not born, then prove it. What's unreasonable about that? Come up with the birth certificate. Come up with the certified birth certificate that says it. A verifiable state-issued birth certificate. Not hard. That's straight to the point. WBC, if you think that's not true, have her issue a birth certificate. We need a fallacy alert. Yeah, look for that Y chromosome. Yeah, I mean, I think a birth certificate should be enough. It's not intrusive. But the question is whether or not she was born that way or not. And then, so I'd have to assume if the lady's 30 years old that she didn't lie about it 30, she didn't lie about it at birth. You know what I'm saying? It's what is the birth? For me, it's enough to say, what is your birth certificate say? Just give me your birth certificate. People ask for your birth certificate to get a driver's license. So I don't see what the issue would be. Show your birth certificate. You got to show me your birth certificate. Okay? Have her birth certificate on file. If she was born in Mexico, but Mexico has birth certificates. They have birth certificates. Just show me the birth certificate. And that's the end of everything. We checked her birth certificate. Here, if you think there's some question, just here's the birth certificate. And matter of fact, if that becomes an issue, just keep birth certificates of all the WBC, keep photocopies of all WBC ranked fighters. Keep their birth certificates. And if they're in the United States, you know it's going to be on your birth certificate. They're not going to go back and change your birth certificate, and that should be enough. And if they get caught playing around with birth certificates, then you know something ain't right. You playing around with your birth certificates. But if the birth certificate says female or it says male, then you know, oh, no, sorry. No. And then if that's the case, then you got to do what's right. If you're going to be consistent with your rule, then you can, hey, much love and hey, Ron Finkley. If you're going to be consistent with your rule, then you say, hold on, man. Yeah, okay, she can fight, but according to our rules, it's okay for her to fight because we recognize people that have transitioned as being female. So that way everybody knows, right? Then that's all out there, because if there's nothing wrong with it, then let everybody know what's going on. Said the cartel created her for this. Oh, you just need a birth certificate, man. I mean, and that's about the best you can do. And there's no need for insults. No need for insults. No need for, the WBC to go off on the person for thinking that. Just say, look, we know that's not true because we have her birth certificate. But they didn't do that. They attacked her. They did an ad hominem on her. That's what Gregory Wyatt, Fanon. What? Look for the Wyatt. What about Gregory Wyatt, man? I think I got his super chats. Look, man, if they are going to say that they're women and those are the rules, look, man, I'm a rule guy. Okay? But when you express what the rule is, then you get to have an argument about the rule. Okay? When you have a rule, then you get to have a debate about what the rule is. So take, for example, Clarissa Shields. The only real if I was arguing in case of Clarissa Shields, I would not argue, I would not do the ad hominem thing. And I would not do the straw man thing. I wouldn't grossly exaggerate your arguments or personally attack you. I would state my rule in a manner that would allow me to support my case. And then you would argue with me about whether or not that rule is reasonable or not. That's how you do it. Okay? So now that I'm done tearing down, let me build it back up. Okay? If anybody wants to debate me directly or indirectly, use that formula. Issue, rule, application, conclusion. IRAC, without a Q, but with a C. IRAC. We'll keep it simple. IRAC. What's the issue? Whether this is the case or whether that is the case, right? Use a different one. Whether Fanon was unjustly persecuted by Black Fight Fan TV. Okay, is that the issue? Well, what's the rule? Well, one way that somebody can be unjustly persecuted by another is if they misrepresent, or claim that someone said something that they did not say. Falsely associating beliefs with somebody. That could be mistreating somebody else. That's a rule. Would we agree that if you did that, then you that you mistreated somebody? Would you agree that that is an acceptable rule for mistreating somebody? If they misrepresent something that you said, or said that you said something that you did not actually say, would you think that that is an acceptable rule? Oh, yes, that's acceptable, because if somebody said something, I said something that I never said, then I would think that they were mistreating me. So yes, if Fanon can prove that Black Fight Fan TV accused him of saying something that he never said, then yeah, and those facts applied, then the conclusion would be that Black Fight Fan mistreated Fanon International Boxing and is deserving of remedy. Well, what would the remedy be if you can prove this, Fanon? Well, the remedy would be a nice apology. I'm sorry, Fanon. I did not mean, I misrepresented what you said, and I apologize. Similar to what I did with 78 Sports TV. When 78 Sports TV told me that I said that he was a closet Bud fan who was really hating on Errol, and I had to admit that I said it, and then I issued my apology, right? So if that's how we work it, that's how we work it. I think that's fair. Issue, rule, application, conclusion. So let me present my facts.
The amateur ranks like and she had a very big name, confidence or courage at all. She obviously worked very hard. You know, and the name Ali got her. Ali, I believe, floated on her dad. Clarissa Shields I think Clarissa Shields is a better fighter.
So here's my proof that I did not say that Laila Ali was a better fighter than Clarissa Shields. Here's my proof.
Than Laila Ali was, and I believe that she's accomplished more than Laila Ali did, and I think that Clarissa Shields is a real fighter. See, the thing with Cecilia Brækhus and Clarissa Shields is they are real fighters. They are true to the game boxers. Laila Ali, I believe, floated on her daddy's name by and large. And a lot of the interest in her, a lot of the accolades that she got were directly related to the fact that she is the daughter of Muhammad Ali. And she's a very pretty lady. And
So there you go. There you go. Donovan Thomas, let's get to the topic. I've been on the topic for a while, man. This show is almost over, okay? You runs nothing around here, homeboy. You runs nothing around here, homie. LCD, are you listening? What's LCD? Oh, man, Gregory White said birth certificates can be fabricated. Chromosomal screening doesn't lie. Hang her with science. No, now, hey, man, that works for me. I'm just saying that, hey, you got to have a rule. If the better rule is birth certificates is chromosomal screening, okay, that's cool. Then that's a better rule. That's a tighter rule. If that's better, that probably is better than birth certificates. That probably, but hey, you know, I'm just saying I'm purporting for a rule that you can apply, and there's no need to go around that. SB Man Ra 4 Brantley said upgraded membership to OG Boxing Talk member. Thank you much, man. Thank you for upgrading, man. And SB Man Ray 4 said, welcome. Hey, man, thank you for joining the channel, man. Thank you for joining the channel. I had no intention of talking about all this today. None. Had none. No intention of it. This show for now, he talked about what the fuck he wanted when he wanted. Yeah, I talk about what I want when I want. Yeah. Oh, Jimenez never fight again. If you don't like it, yeah, kick rocks, homie. Pretty much. Fanon, if Laila Ali really gets in shapes, she can box. I think she takes Shields. I don't. I think that's just a bunch of talk, man. I think it's just a bunch of talk. First of all, Laila Ali is already just banked up. Okay, she's already. Oh, by the way, I would like to tell you that the purse for Clarissa Shields came out $300,000. $300,000 for the fight with Hands the Band, which is a nice chunk of money, but it's $300,000. It's not $1 million. It's not $600,000. It's $300,000, according to the reports that came out. Laila Ali and Clarissa Shields are the same height. Yeah, but Clarissa Shields is a better fighter, man. If the birth certificate was from here, I would trust it more. Yeah, I mean, clearly there's some shadiness, but you know, I'm just giving an example of how it could be handled. But look, I'm gonna get out of here. Much love to everybody in the channel. As blood boxing has learned before, to blood boxing's detriment, it's not easy money over here, man. It's not easy money over here. It's just not easy money. It's not. She said, Fanan caught that pond. Laila floated on her father's name. Yeah, she did float on her father's name. That's just the truth. They said, I know better, dude. Seriously, man, just much love, but man, seriously, man, it's like, don't arm wrestle Olympic wrestlers. Okay, don't Olympic weight lifters, you know, or don't throw darts with Olympic dart throwers. Okay, because I think about what I say before I said it, and I think about about people's responses before I say something. You know how Don King said in that movie, he walked into the bathroom, he was trying to negotiate with George Foreman to sign this contract. Said, thanks for answering my question. Hey, no worries, man. He said, and he was walking out, and George Foreman said, ain't you gonna wash your hands? And Don King said, man, I wash my hands before I touch my stuff. So that's me. I wash my hands before I touch it. Okay. I think about what I say carefully before I say it. Most times. Every once in a while, I'll slip up. But, you know, even then, I know how to recover my footing. Much love to everybody, especially Black Fight Fan TV. Don't take that L to heart. Don't take it to heart. But in your response, no ad hominem, no straw man, no causation, confusing correlation with causation, no begging the question, because they will all be pointed out in fair response. Much love to my people. Much love to my people. It is a difference of opinion, really. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's a good exit. Hey, lowest common denominator, that's a good exit. That's what you call laying down your sword. Hey, it's just a difference of opinion. Just lay your sword. That's when you say that, you just laying it down. You're saying, look, I can't prove my point. So that's the best way to get out of it. And it really is. That really is one of the most underrated ways to get a draw. You went for a draw. I like that. Because sometimes, dude, if the best you can get is a draw, you just walk away with a draw. Hey, man, let's agree to disagree. Got it. But if you go for that win, when you go for the win, man, you got to have everything together, man. You got to have everything together. You got to have everything together, man, to go for the win. But I like what you said, lowest common denominator, home of the demographic. When you cannot win, just like in chess, just go for the stalemate. Go for the stalemate. It's not quite worth what a win is, but it's better than taking an L. It's better than taking an L. You know what I mean? Because if you were the champ, you get to say and still. Great bye. Thanks, Ronald Finkley. And exactly, CJ, the mistreatment of Fanan. Because I was mistreated. I was misrepresented and mistreated and run amok. And I don't know what I did to deserve it. I swear I don't. See, that's appeal to emotion right there. That's appeal to emotion. Happy birthday, OG. Got to do some Chi-Town step in the night. Oh, whose birthday is it? Happy birthday, whoever's birthday it is. But look, man, I'm up out of here. Much peace. Love to everybody, man. And I'll get with y'all on Sunday for OG Boxing Talk with myself, KQ Blood Boxing, Trap House Boxing, and Curtis Anderson. Peace.